politics. He elaborated his ideas on the ideal state and Cleisthenes. Cleisthenes is known as the father of democracy. It is a supreme law that determines the relationship among the citizens and its country. Constitution is a supreme law that determines the relationship between the citizens and its country, and also the relationship between the people and the government. It is a set of written rules that are accepted by all the people living together in a country. There were certain events in the British rule that laid down the legal framework for the organization and functioning of the government and the administration in the British India. So, it is a supreme law. Aristotle is considered, Cleisthenes is known as the father of democracy. It is a supreme law that determines the relationship among the citizens and its country, and also the relationship between the people and the government. It is a set of written rules that are accepted by all the people living together in a country. There are certain events in the British rule that laid down the framework for organization and functioning of the government and administration in British India. There are certain events in the British rule that laid down the legal framework for organization and functioning of the government and the British administration in India. These events has greatly influenced our constitution and polity. And British rule of certain events that laid down the legal framework for the organization and functioning of the government and administration in India. These events has greatly influenced our constitution and polity. These are explained in chronological order under two major headings. ఒకటి కంపెనీ రూల్ 1773 to 1858. నెక్స్ట్ ఇస్ క్రౌన్ రూల్ 1858 to 1947. B.C. Rawat, one of the famous historian, categorized the Indian constitution framework into two stages. B.C. Rawat, one of the famous historian, categorized the Indian constitution framework into two stages. B.C. Rawat, one of the famous historian, has categorized the Indian constitutional framework into two stages, into following stages like 1600 to 1773 is called East India Company Rule, 1773 to 1858 is called Charter Acts, 1858 to 1909 are called Council Acts, 1909 to 1935 are called British India Acts, 1947 India Independence Act, 1947 to 1950 Constituent Assembly. ఇవన్నీ ఓకే. ఇప్పుడు ఫస్ట్ స్టేజ్కి వచ్చేసి ఫస్ట్ స్టేజ్ 1600 to 1773. 1600 నుంచి 1773 ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీ రూల్. సో ఫస్ట్ స్టేజ్ ఏంది 1600 to 1773 ఏంది కథ అని. ఫస్ట్ 1600 to 1773ని ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీ రూల్ అంటారు. అరైవల్ ఆఫ్ ద బ్రిటిష్ అండ్ ఎస్టాబ్లిష్మెంట్ ఆఫ్ బ్రిటిష్ ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీ వాజ్ ద అవుట్కమ్ ఆఫ్ పోర్చుగీస్ ట్రేడర్స్ Vasco da Gama 1498 who earn enormous profit by selling their merchandise in India. East India Company was formed in 1599 through the Royal Charter of Queen Elizabeth I. 1519 East India Company 1599 formed through the Royal Charter from Queen Elizabeth I on December 31st 1600 AD, authorizing it to trade in the East. Subsequently, in the 1608 AD, East India Company sent Captain William Hawkins to the court of the Mughal Emperor Jahangir to secure the royal patronage. He succeeded in getting the royal permit for the company to establish its factories at various places on the western coast of India. 1615 AD, Sir Thomas Roe was sent by the Emperor James I of England to Jahangir's court with a plea for a more concession for the company. In 1615 AD, Sir Thomas Roe was sent by the James I of England to Jahangir's court. Sir Thomas Roe, James I of England, Jahangir court with a plea for a more concession for royal patronage for the company. Roe was very diplomatic and then successfully secured a royal charter giving the company freedom to trade whole of the Mughal territory. In 1662 AD, that is James I, this is Charles II. In 1662 AD, Charles II of England, he married a Portuguese princess Catherine and received the island of Bombay as a dowry, which he immediately gave to the East India Company for in 1668 AD for $10 per year, 10 pounds per year. The company on the west coast shifted its business headquarters from Surat to Bombay. the company on the west coast shifted its business from Surat to Mumbai. In 1639 AD, East India Company opted a lease for the city of Madras, from the local king, where it has built Saint George to protect its factory. Fort St. George, later Madras, was made up of South Indian headquarters of the company. The Governor of Bengal, Shujauddaulah, in 1651 AD, allowed the English East India Company to carry out its trade activities in Bengal. Okay. So, the Governor of Bengal, Shujauddaulah, in 1651 AD, allowed the East India Company to carry out its trade activities in Bengal. Governor of Bengal, in 1639 AD, East India Company obtained the lease of the city of Madras from the local king, where it built Fort St. George to protect its factory. Later, Madras was made up of South Indian headquarters of the company. The Governor of Bengal, Shujauddaulah, in 1651, allowed the East India Company to carry out its trade activities in Bengal. After a factory in Hooghly was established, and the three villages like Sultanati, Govindapur and Kolkata were purchased in 1698 AD by the company to build the factory. Over this, subsequently Fort William was raised in order to provide protection around the factory. It was Mughal Emperor Farooq Siayar which in 1717 AD issued a royal farman or charter granting the company important trading facilities in the Bengal, which included the permission of export and import of British goods in Bengal without paying the taxes. Under the Farman, the company was authorized to issue dastaks for the transportation. Under the Farman, the company was issued Under the Farman, the company was authorized to issue dastaks for transportation of goods. Under the Farman, the company was authorized to issue dastaks. Under the Farman, the company was authorized to issue dastaks, passes for the transportation of goods. Included the permission of the export and import of British goods in Bengal without paying taxes. Under the Farman, the company was authorized to issue dastaks or passes for the transportation of the goods under the Bengal, which included the permission of export and import of British goods in Bengal without paying the taxes. And then Mughal Emperor Farooq Siayar in 1717 AD issued a royal Farman charter granting the company important trading facilities in the Bengal and included the permission to export and import the British wood without paying the taxes. Under the Farman, the company was authorized to issue dastaks or passes for the transportation of the goods. In ensuing years, later years, the East India Company further expanded its base and flourished through it. Also faced challenges from the Portuguese, Dutch, and the French. Major as minor conflicts among them often took place from time to time for commercial and political supremacy, but in the end it was the British who proved themselves most powerful after thrashing the other three and remained in India for more than 200 years of ruling power. By 1750s, East India Companies started interfering in the Indian political issues. In 1757, by 1750s, British started interfering in the Indian political issues. In 1757, Robert Clive defeated the powers of Nawab in 1757. Battle of Plassey. Robert Clive defeated the powers of Nawab of Bengal Sirajuddaulah and the Battle of Plassey. In 1764, Battle of Buxar was fought between the forces under the command. In 1764, Battle of Buxar was fought between the forces under the command of the British East India Company, led by Hector Munro, and combined armies of Mir Kazim, Nawab of Bengal, and Nawab of Awadh Shujauddaulah, and the Mughal Emperor Shah Alam II, accompanied by Raja Balwant Singh of Kasi. It was a decisive victory for the British East India Company. In 1765, with the Treaty of Allahabad, the Battle of Buxar came to an end, and the company, which till now had purely trading functions, obtained the Diwani, that is, rights over the revenue and civil justice of the Bengal, Bihar, Orissa. This started its career as a territorial power. In 1772, Warren Hastings introduced a collector system in India to collect the revenue. In 1772, Warren Hastings introduced the collector system in India to collect the revenue.